Now, you may not know this, but every year the four kings argue about who should play Santa Claus that year. Now, this year is especially bad, and they just can't come to any agreement. So they've reached out to us to make that choice for them, together with the powers of the universe above, okay? So we have the four kings. Now, since we've seen the order of the four kings, why don't we go ahead and just mix these the best we can. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's put those back. I don't know if you kept track of where they are. If so, you are a genius. And we need 5 additional random cards. So we'll take one from there, 3 there, another one from there, and maybe a 5th one from there. That's great. We don't need the rest of the deck. Okay, so we have these 5 cards and then the 4 kings. So if you were here, I'd have you do all of this. We'll go ahead and just, since we don't know where the kings are, we'll put this one on top. We'll put the bottom king on bottom. And then I'll have you just randomly insert these wherever you want. And you truly could put them wherever you want. It doesn't actually, matter, right? Because the universe is nonetheless going to tell us who would be the best Santa Claus for this year. Okay, and to begin to mix the cards even further, I would have you choose maybe a number between, say, 1 and 8. Okay, 9's not very interesting because that's all of the cards here, and so we would just kind of deal them all to the table. So I have this 8-sided die here. Now, if you were here, you could actually tell me a number between 1 and 8, but here we'll leave it to the universe to decide. Okay, so I think that's a 6. It has a little line under it, right? Okay, so we'll deal down to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very good. Okay. Now, to decide, which of the 4 kings should be Santa this year, what we're going to do is we're simply going to spell Santa Claus and then kings. Now, the way in which we'll spell those, that's where it becomes interesting and very unpredictable, quite honestly. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to spell in 4 possible different ways. So one would be to spell out, like deal out, just like I did a moment ago. Like for Santa, I would deal out S-A-N-T-A, drop the rest on top. Okay, that would be one way to spell Santa. Another way would be just to push off, 5 cards, 5 letters in the name Santa, and just move those to the bottom. Okay, that's a second way. A third way would be to do a down-under shuffle. That's kind of cool. So this is where we would still spell out the words, but you would go like S for Santa, S. The next one would go A, would go under. So it's down, under, down, under. Okay, so that's a third way to spell these words. And then the fourth one could actually be an under down. So this is where you begin with the first card going under, then down, under, down, and so forth. Okay, now we're going to allow you to decide how we spell the first one. Let's say Santa. Now, you're not here, so unfortunately we're going to have to leave it up to this 8-sided die to decide. But please know that if you were here, you could freely choose any 4 of those methods. So why don't we say, if it comes up a 1 or 2, we'll deal down normally. That's like the normal thing to do. If it's a 3 or 4, we'll just push off that many cards and transfer them to the bottom. If it's a 5 or 6, then we'll do a down under. And if it's a 7 or 8, we'll do an under down. Okay, is that fair? So I'm essentially trying to randomize these without you being here, okay, because you would make those decisions. So let's go ahead and just toss this. Can you see that? Yeah, that's a 3. Okay, so I believe that is, 3. Isn't that just a push off, right? 1 and 2 would be that we deal, put the rest on top. 3 and 4 is you just push off. So S-A-N-T-A. Okay, so that essentially that's your choice. You had 4 possible choices to select from. Okay, so I'll make my choice. I think I'll just do the normal thing, just deal down, right? So okay, so we've spelled Santa. Now we need to do Claus. So C-L-A U-S, drop the rest on top, okay? And now for the final spelling, we'll leave it to you. So which of the four would you like? Well, we'll use the die again. So 1 and 2, we'll deal down, like I just did. 3 and 4, we'll push off, which is what you did at the start. 5 and 6 will be a down under. 7 and 8, an under down. Okay, what are you choosing? 2. Okay, so you are choosing to just deal down. It's kind of boring, actually. Okay, I'll even give you a second chance. Since we haven't done the other shuffles, we honestly could just do, spelling it out. Would you like me to roll it again? Because maybe you would be a more interesting person in your selection. You would. Okay, we'll try again. Now, if we get a 1 or 2 again, that's what we're doing because the universe wants us to. Okay, a 5. Okay, that's a bit more interesting. So 1 and 2, deal down. 3 and 4, push off. 5 and 6 is a down under. Okay, very good. Okay, so we still need to spell kings to finish, right? So down under. K-I-N-G-S. Drop the rest on top. Okay, so who should be Santa Claus this year? What has the universe communicated to us? Well, let's find out. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Now, you may have noticed I had a card up here in camera view the whole time. And actually, it was my prediction as to what I really think should have come out of this process. And I'll give you my rationale. I don't know what the universe's rationale is, but I can give you mine. But let's see, did I actually agree with the universe's choice of Santa this year? I think I did. Okay, well, you might wonder, well, why would I have chosen that one? Why choose that particular Santa, right? The particular king for Santa? Well, let me just show you what I was thinking here. Okay, so these are all kind of mixed up here. Well, look at the King of Diamonds. How does he differ from these other kings? Because the other kings kind of make me nervous. Can you see why they would make me nervous? So these are supposed to be playing Santa Claus and appealing to young children and not frighten them to death. Well, this king right here is holding a sword, okay? Now, I know that some kids like swords, but I suspect this is a real sword. So this guy's a little scary to me. This guy, I think they call him the Suicide King. Kind of morbid, right? He seems to be doing something with that knife or sword that would be very painful, actually. Now, what about, this guy has a sword as well. So I didn't want any of those three. And the only one that seemed like it might be a safe choice for Santa this year would be the King of Diamonds. Now, I know that there's this scary looking weapon over here, but this is actually what the King of Diamonds uses to cut his wood, actually. So he's actually a very safe king to have play the role of Santa this year. Okay, so don't worry about that. So anyway, that's why I chose what I did, and apparently the universe agreed. Let me just give you enough of the steps that you can perform this. I'm not going to give you all of the whys here because the video will be too long. But you can decide who is going to be Santa this year. You decide who it is. Now, I chose the King of Diamonds. Well, I need him on top of the packet of 9 cards. That's really the only thing you need to do as far as a setup. Okay, so if you remember, I turned, we had him on top, right? And then if you remember, I kind of mixed these. Well, I had my eye on this card the whole time. I didn't really care about the others. There he is. And you could follow him as well, okay? So you just move them around, and people don't know you're following one card. And then you just go around and gather these up. Here's the King of Diamonds right there, and you just make sure he's on top. Okay, that's important. This will work if you actually do that. And then, if you remember, we chose 5 random cards, and that's true from a deck of cards. And then if you remember, I said, okay, let's put the top card, which we don't even know which king it is, on top, and we'll put the bottom card on the bottom. Seems fair enough. And then we'll have the spectator just kind of randomly insert these, which is true. They can go anywhere inside. Okay, very good. Okay, so this is the setup then. The King of Diamonds is on top, and we have a total of 9 cards. And everything else, the mathematics, will lead to the ending that we had, okay? So at this point, the spectator is free to choose any number between 1 and 8. Maybe they choose 3 or something. 1, 2, 3. The key or important thing is the King of Diamonds is on the bottom. Now that's where we need it to be before the spelling routine. And this is called a triple overcoding is what it's called. Now, it does have some twists to it that have never been, to my knowledge, never been demonstrated before or even thought of before, quite honestly. So what I decided to do, and this will work, is allow 4 different ways to deal out the 3 words Santa, Claus, Kings. Now, one important secret is all 3 of those words have the same number of letters, namely 5. And 5 is larger than half of the packet size here. Okay, so 5 is larger than, well, half the packet size here is 4.5, right? So you need 5 or more for the number of letters in whatever word you're going to spell. And in this rendition, we're going to spell the same number of letters 3 times. And it happens to be 5 for this routine, okay? Now, what's new to the world of magic that I've added will be these 4 different options for spelling Santa, then Claus, then Kings, okay? And if you remember, the first option is just to deal down, just deal to the table. That's normal, drop the rest on top. The other one is to push off that many letters, transfer those to the bottom. The other one is the down, under, deal. And then the 4th one is the under, down. Okay. Now the spectator is truly free to choose any of those 4 methods for, quote, spelling Santa. They really can. So maybe they'll choose under, down for Santa. Okay. So S-A-N-T-A, Santa. Okay. Now, the only thing that you need to do that's special is you do not want to randomly choose one of those 4. You need to perform just one of those. And if you don't perform the right one, this won't work. You need to perform the standard dealing to the table, 1 card for each letter. Okay, that's kind of easy to remember. Okay, so for this middle spelling, which is your turn now, they went first. Now it's your turn, and then they'll finish last, actually. They'll get to spell Kings however they want. So what you need to do now is you need to spell Claus, but you actually have to do the dealing out. C-L-A-U-S. Okay? So this is going to make it work. That middle spelling has to just be a normal dealing out. Now, the final spelling can be any of the 4. It truly is a free choice for the spectator. So maybe they'll choose to do the under, down now, okay, because it's kind of a messy shuffle. And now they're spelling Kings, right? Kings, okay. So under, down, we go under first, right? So K-I-N-G-S. Drop the rest on top. Now, what you're guaranteed to happen is the card that we put on the top, and then I think it was 3 cards down, so that the King of Diamonds was on the bottom. Do you remember that? Before we did the 3 spellings of Santa, Claus, Kings. After those spellings, the original top card of that packet of 9 will be the one that rises to the top. Okay, and so you know that ahead of time, and so because of that, you can have a prediction card that's going to match the outcome of this little spelling sequence. So anyway, enjoy that. That's a fun one I thought of just minutes before hitting record, and I thought it'd be a fun one to get out there for Christmas time. So thanks for watching, and take a look at the many other, over 600 videos, and these are videos at all levels of skill and also all levels of mathematical background. So thank you for watching.